Hello, welcome to FiceFilm. Today we will explain a 2011 science fiction film called Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Warning, spoilers ahead. Proceed at your own risk. The movie begins with a spacecraft known as the Ark, attempting to escape during the final days of the war that devastated the planet Cybertron. The ship, piloted by the great Autobot leader Sentinel Prime, was said to contain special items that could help the Autobots win the war against the Decepticons. However, the ship was destroyed by enemy missiles, and the ship and its crew were lost in space. NASA detected the Ark's impact on the moon in 1961. Fearing that the Russians will discover the identity of this unidentified object first, President John F. Kennedy pushes NASA to land men on the moon to investigate. Apollo 11 landed on the moon 8 years later in 1969, and astronaut Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin secretly explored the craft. In the present day, the Autobots continue to collaborate with the NEST team to track down any remaining Decepticons on the planet, as well as anything unusual. Major Lennox receives information from a Ukrainian official, Alexei Foxtrot, about something strange going on near the Chernobyl disaster site. Lennox, Optimus Prime, and Ratchet leads a team into the radioactive site. Inside the plant, Prime discovers a fuel cell from the Ark, as well as the Decepticon Shockwave and a massive drilling robot at his disposal. Prime and the other Autobots eventually return to the NEST headquarters and display the recovered fuel cell. Optimus and Ratchet wants to investigate further, so they take a ship to the moon and inspect the Ark. They discover Sentinel Prime's weakened body as well as 5 metal pillars in a secret chamber. Megatron is hiding in Africa, still wounded from his last battle with Optimus Prime. Starscream, Laserbeak, and Soundwave reports to him that Optimus and the pillars have been recovered. Megatron informs Soundwave that their human collaborators have done with them, and that it is now time to tie up loose ends. Meanwhile, Sam Witwicky has completed his college education. Sam is currently based in Washington, D.C. with Carly Spencer, his new girlfriend, and 2 smaller Autobots named Wheelie and Brains. Sam eventually gets a job at Accurata Systems, a technology company run by an eccentric man named Bruce Bezos. Soon after starting his job, Sam is approached by an ecstatic co-worker named Jerry Wang. Jerry approaches Sam and hands him a stack of papers and news clipping about the dark side of the moon and how the Autobots are in danger, but then Jerry jumps out his office window and dies before he can get any more information. A few moments later, Laserbeak emerges from a nearby copier and attacks Sam. Sam escapes and drives to the Department of Health and Human Services where Ness is hidden. The Autobots and Lennox grant Sam and Carly access to the facility, but Meering is not pleased. Sam tries to tell Meering about Jerry's health and the notes he left for Sam, but Meering doesn't listen. Prime and Ratchet have also returned to the base with Sentinel Prime's body and uses the Matrix of Leadership to resurrect Sentinel. Sentinel, initially perplexed, soon demands to know about the pillars. The group tells him they found 5. He is upset when Meering informs him that the 5 they have recovered are being kept away from him for security reasons. Sentinel explains that they could use to open a portal through space and time. Meering becomes even more hesitant to return them. Bumblebee is permitted to accompany Sam home for protection, but Sam believes there is something going on that they should look into. Having obtained copies of Jerry's note, Sam contacts Seymour Simmons, who has since published a book about his exploits and hired a retired NASA agent Dutch as an assistant. Optimus takes Sentinel on a tour on Earth. He offers to hand over the Matrix to Sentinel but is politely declined. Optimus is now Sentinel's teacher on this new and strange planet. Looking through Jerry's note, it becomes clear that a number of people who were involved in the cover-up of the Ark on the moon are either missing or have died mysteriously. Carly quickly learns about Sam's investigations and expresses her disdain for Sam, possibly putting himself in danger. Soon after, it turns out from the investigations that Russia had several moon missions planned, all of which were mysteriously abandoned. Sam, Simmons, and Dutch follow the 2 cosmonauts who have left for a dive bar. After some discussion, they go on to explain that images taken on the moon by satellites before the Americans set foot there revealed stacks of pillars similar to the 5 that Sentinel Prime was able to recover. Sam quickly realizes that Wang's theory of a conspiracy is accurate. Sentinel Prime was required by the Decepticons to turn on the pillars. They took what they could, but 5 of them, including the master pillar that governs them, were left with Sentinel's depleted body. They planted hints to help the Autobots to find him and revive him, probably with the intentions of sending an invasion force to Earth. Sentinel is located by Sam and the other Autobots, who assist in escorting him back to Ness for protection. 3 black SUV, which later revealed to be 3 beast-like Decepticons, threaten the group. The Decepticons are defeated, and the group makes it back to the base. Sentinel then startlessly reveals that he had previously made a deal with Megatron to put an end to the conflict and rebuild Cybertron. At the Lincoln Memorial, Sentinel meets up with Megatron and Starscream. Optimus arrives in an attempt to stop Sentinel, but is quickly defeated and forced to retreat. Sentinel turns on the space bridge as Megatron lays claim to the Lincoln Memorial as his throne. Sam returns to their home out of fear of Carly's life, only to discover that she has left. Sam shows up at Dylan's mansion after remembering she was going there. Sam tries to drive Carly away after realizing that he is somehow involved with the Decepticons and their plans. But when her Mercedes transforms into Soundwave, he imprisons her inside of him. Sam is given the choice: either find out how Optimus plans to respond to Dylan and the Decepticons, or Carly will perish. Soon after, Mirroring contacts Sam and expresses regret for earlier doubting him. After their meeting, Sentinel Prime sends a voice-encoded message to the UN requesting that people banish the Autobots from Earth. Sam tries to warn Optimus covertly as the Autobots get ready to board the shuttle Santium about his plans on fighting back. Bumblebee bids Sam farewell, and Optimus asserts that they have no plans to fight back. Sam watches from nearby as the Santium takes off the following day. Starscream, who has been waiting in the upper atmosphere, shoots the rocket down and destroys the Autobots. Dylan calls Sam shortly after, happy that the Autobots are now out of the way. Sam contacts Simmons and Dutch after Dylan hangs up, and they determine that Dylan has taken Carly to the Trump Tower in Chicago, Illinois. As Sentinel Prime, Megatron and Starscream arrives in Chicago. They seize control of a building's top and use Dylan to help Sentinel plant the pillars. The Decepticons have set up pillars all over the world to connect to Cybertron via the space bridge in order to accomplish this, and Sentinel is planning to turn on the control pillar at a specific time. Shortly after, the Decepticons attack Chicago with a fleet of ships and an army of weapons, destroying much of the city and fortifying the perimeter to prevent any armed forces from entering. Epps, a former NAS team member, and Sam travel to the outskirts of Chicago because Sam still plans to save Carly. The Autobots reveal that just before Starscream destroyed the Santium, they had hidden covertly inside of the booster rockets that had separated from the ships and landed in the water. To give the Decepticons the impressions they had left, they kept quiet. While the Autobots enter the city, Bumblebee controls the downed drone. Sam succeeds in getting Carly out of Dylan's penthouse, killing Laserbeak in the process. But now the group must stop Sentinel Prime while he aligns the last few pillars. Sam, Carly, and the NAS agents attempt to use a rocket launcher to destroy one of Sentinel's pillars, while Optimus and the other Autobots try to create a distraction. They then reassemble close to where Soundwave and a few other Decepticons have taken Bumblebee, Ratchet, Q, and Dino prisoner. Soundwave then makes the decisions to kill the hostages. Q is killed by Barricade before Bumblebee is attacked by Soundwave. The group is diverted when drone ships start to fall from the sky. At this point, Soundwave is killed by Bumblebee after being defeated in the fight. Soon, some Navy SEALs join the Autobots and their NAS agents, and together they kill Barricade and destroy some Decepticons' protoforms. Sentinel turns on the Master Pillar, which turns on the other space bridges beside across the planet. The ground troops are soon destroyed by Optimus when he suddenly flies in. Using his cannon to destroy one of the pillars after dodging the Decepticons' shoddy aim, Optimus Prime kills Shockwave and forces the space bridge to disengage. Carly discovers Megatron dozing off on a throne made out of trash in a side alley. Carly persuades Megatron that once Cybertron is restored, Sentinel Prime will lead the Cybertronians instead of Megatron, because he has seen the previous argument between Sentinel and Megatron. Dylan confronts Sam after he has made it to the down pillar and activates it, which prompts Cybertron to continue reforming in the atmosphere. Dylan is eventually knocked unconscious by Sam. Sentinel and Optimus engage in combat. The older Prime Sentinel quickly gains the upper hand, and Optimus loses an arm before being knocked to the ground. Sentinel is about to kill Optimus when, out of nowhere, Megatron intervenes to save him and destroys Sentinel after hearing Carly's word and claiming that this plan is his to rule. The Autobot leader rejects Megatron's offer of a truce because too many people have already died as a result of him. The fight between them is quickly over when Optimus rips Megatron's head and spine from his body, killing him. A beaten-up Sentinel later claims that he did not intend to betray them and was only thinking of saving his race. As the elderly Prime begs for mercy, Prime shoots Sentinel and claims that he betrayed him. Sam envelops Carly as the nest agents and the Autobots assemble, and Optimus realizes that from this point forward, Earth will be the Autobots' only place of residence because there is no chance of Cybertron being revived or returned.